From a young girl singing in her mother's salon to an $800 million empire, Beyoncé's journey is the definition of legendary. But before the Grammy Awards, private jets, and record-breaking tours, she was just a kid in Houston with a dream. How did she rise to become the most powerful woman in music? Stay tuned. The final revelation will leave you speechless. Beyoncé's early days. Born Beyoncé Giselle Knowles on September 4, 1981, the music star started life in Houston, Texas. Her mother was a hairdresser and owned a salon while her father was a sales manager. She was raised in multiple religions, going from Methodist to Catholic. It was during her time at St. Mary's Catholic Montessori School that she enrolled in dance classes. Beyoncé was an amazing dancer from childhood, but her singing abilities weren't discovered until later on. During one of her dance classes, her instructor began humming a song and she completed it, hitting high-pitched notes. She then started gaining interest in music and performing. This newfound interest became more profound when she beat 15 and 16-year-olds at a school talent show when she was only 7. Beyoncé's parents also started to notice her talent and enrolled her in Parker Elementary School, a music magnet school in Houston. When she was there, she joined the school's choir. She then went on to attend the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. As she was getting closer to music in school, the same was also happening in church. She attended the St. John's United Methodist Church with her family. She was a part of the choir and sang her first solo there. Because of her talent, Beyoncé remained the church's soloist for 2 years. With her incredible musical and dance talent, it was time for her to take it to the next level. And that was when her father, Matthew Knowles, stepped in to play the role of manager and carve her to become one of the greatest talents in the world. First girl group, Girls' Time. When Beyoncé turned 8, she decided to audition to become part of an all-girl entertainment group. During the audition, she met Latavia Robertson, and they were placed together in a group called Girls' Time. There were 3 other girls in the group, and they all rapped, sang, and danced on the talent show circuit in Houston. Impressed by the group, Arnie Frager, a producer, took them to his Northern California studio. He signed them up for Star Search, which was the largest talent show on national TV at the time. But the girls didn't win. Seeing how much talent his daughter had and what she was capable of, Matthew Knowles quit his job and became Girls' Time's full-time manager. The decision affected the family's income, forcing Beyoncé's parents to sell their cars and house. However, it seemed like everything eventually paid off. One of the first things Matthew Knowles did was to reduce the members of the group from 5 to 4. They performed as opening act for other well-known R&B girl groups. When they weren't on tour with other groups, they were auditioning for record labels. After many trials, the girls got their first deal with Elektra Records. Shortly after, they moved to Atlanta Records just to work on their first recording, but they were cut by the company. This sudden loss of their record deal placed more strain on Beyoncé's family, leading to her parents separating. The group finally started to see some breakthrough when they got signed to Grassroots Entertainment in 1995. The next year, the girls started to record their debut album under an agreement with Sony Music. This deal helped her parents come back together, and shortly after, the group got a contract with Columbia Records. With all the deals coming in, the girls decided it was time to rebrand, and the group's name was changed to Destiny's Child. The emergence of Destiny's Child.
I have nothing to do with it. Yes, you do. I got that check out. Let me take it far away. You're sure to
In 1996, Destiny's Child was born, and by 1997, they released their major label debut song, Killing Time. The song was a soundtrack on the film, Men in Black. They then went on to release their self-titled debut album in 1998. The album established the group as an act to look out for in the music industry because their talent was extraordinary. In 1999, they released their second album, The Writings on the Wall, and it went multi-platinum. The group got their first #1 single off the album, which was Bills, Bills, Bills. Songs like Jumpin' Jumpin' and Say My Name also came from the second album, all of which became their most successful songs. They went on to win awards like the Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals for Say My Name at the Grammys. The same song also won the Best R&B Song Award at the 43rd Annual Grammy Awards. The entire body of work that was the Writings on the Wall album sold more than 8 million copies worldwide. Apart from personal projects for the group, they were also doing well with movie soundtracks they were producing. They recorded Independent Women Part 1 for the 2000 film, Charlie's Angels. Despite being a movie's OST, the song became their best charting single, topping the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart for 11 consecutive weeks. In 2001, Destiny's Child started working on their third album while Beyoncé was getting attention outside the group. While recording the album, she got cast in a MTV film, Carmen, a hip opera. The group finally released the third album but got hit with a lawsuit from Luckett and Robertson, former members of the group, that assumed the album was throwing shades at them. Despite the lawsuit, the album debuted at #1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and sold 663,000 copies in the first week. But despite the success of the group and growing up together, the girls wanted more out of their lives and talents. So in October 2001, they announced a hiatus to focus on their solo careers. After the hiatus, Beyoncé made her theatrical film debut in July 2002, acting as Foxy Cleopatra in the comedy film Goldmember, alongside Austin Powers. The film grossed $73 million. She then released a lead single, Work It Out, which was an original soundtrack for the movie. The song entered the top 10 charts in the UK, Norway, and Belgium. In 2003, Beyoncé starred in The Fighting Temptations. Despite the movie receiving mixed reviews, it grossed $30 million. She then released another single titled Fighting Temptation, a soundtrack for the movie. She didn't go straight into solo projects right after the hiatus from Destiny's Child. Beyoncé channeled her energy into acting, but after a while she went back to music and officially launched her solo career, which has been one of her best decisions so far. Beyoncé launches her solo career. Beyoncé launched her solo career with a feature on Jay-Z's song, 03 Bonnie and Clyde. The song was released in October 2002 and peaked at #4 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart. That same year, she began to work on her debut solo album, Dangerously in Love, and premiered some songs off the album on June 14, 2003. Before the release of the album, she had her first solo concert and a TV special. Ford presents Beyoncé Knowles' Friends and Family, live from Ford's 100th anniversary celebration in Dearborn, Michigan. She finally released the Dangerously in Love album on June 24, 2003. After the hiatus the group took, Beyoncé was the only one of the three members to see significant progress in her solo career. Just within the first week of her album's release, she sold 317,000 copies and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. The album was so successful that it keeps selling even till this day and has sold 11 million copies so far worldwide. Beyoncé got her first #1 single as a solo artist with Crazy in Love, which was the album's lead single. The song featured Jay-Z and stamped her as a talented music artist in the U.S. entertainment industry. Other songs from the album like Baby Boy, Me, Myself and I, and Naughty Girl all reached top 5 on the Billboard chart. Dangerously in Love earned her 5 awards at the 46th Annual Grammy Awards. It won the Best Contemporary R&B Album and 4 other R&B related awards from the event. In November 2003, she started a tour for the album, performing alongside Missy Elliott and Alicia Keys. Beyoncé was planning to release another album in 2004, but placed it on hold as her original group, Destiny's Child, seemed to have other plans. The group was making a comeback one last time with their final studio album, Destiny Fulfilled. It was indeed Destiny Fulfilled because the girls all met by chance and made a name for themselves. Then they went solo and were doing relatively well in their individual careers. The group's last album was released in November 2004 and peaked at #2 on the Billboard 200. Tracks from the album like Lose My Breath and Soldier reached the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Destiny's Child embarked on one last worldwide concert tour and performed not just group songs but also individual projects. After over 5 months on tour, they announced that they were going to disband after the tour. Towards the end of of 2005, the group members went their separate ways, but remained cordial with each other. They have since sold 60 million records globally, with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. After the group disbanded, Beyoncé continued to focus on her solo career, which was doing amazingly well. She released her second album, B-Day, on September 4th, 2006, and it coincided with her birthday. Within the first week, it sold 541,000 copies and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. It became her second consecutive #1 album in the United States. Just like the progress of her first album, B-Day was not any different. The lead single on the album, Deja Vu featuring Jay-Z, reached the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The album won the award for the Best Contemporary R&B Album at the 49th Annual Grammy Awards in 2007, despite getting almost 10 nominations. Away from music, Beyoncé had a passion for acting. She starred in The Pink Panther, a comedy film, alongside Steve Martin, and the film grossed $158.8 million. She then went on to star in Dreamgirls, which was the film version of a Broadway musical, and it grossed $154 million. Still in 2006, she started her first worldwide concert tour called The Beyonce Experience, and grossed $24 million. Not only is she a profitable singer, she is well loved. Let's take a look at her musical style and her influences over time to understand how she became the musical genius that she is today. Beyoncé's creative journey. When it comes to Beyoncé's voice, it has been described as being mezzo-soprano. Some critics have described her tone as particularly distinctive, claiming it is one of the most compelling instruments in popular music. During the Destiny's Child era, she was seen as the centerpiece of the group because of her vocal dexterity and how well she seemed to be holding the group down. In recent times, there has been a lot of backtalk about Beyoncé not being the one who writes her songs. For starters, songwriters have always and will always exist. There are artists who are talented singers but struggle to write their own songs. Why should it be a thing of shame? Also, Beyoncé has gotten co-writing credits for most of her songs. It reflects in her style of music. When she was still in Destiny's Child, the songs were usually about being independent of men. But when she got married to Jay-Z, her songs became more about pleasing men. That switch is not something that could have been inspired without her input. In 2001, Beyoncé became the first black woman and second female lyricist to win the Pop Songwriter of the Year award at the ASCAP Pop Music Awards. She was also the third woman to have writing credits on 3 #1 songs in the same year. The songs were Irreplaceable, Grills, and Check on It. She was also listed at number 17 in Billboard magazine's list of the top 20 Hot 100 songwriters in 2011. There were only 3 women who appeared on the list: Alicia Keys, Taylor Swift, and Beyoncé. When it comes to her live performances, the production is always top-notch, and that may be because of her perfectionism.
We'll do the one chorus of that, but the way we do it, I think we should just go into builds. So we came out with the song, and it became our first #1 record. We just posed the whole time ourselves, and
Beyoncé has revealed that she is really passionate about all the steps involved in her production. She loves to stack vocals and create her own little arrangements. But it is not always as smooth sailing as it sounds. She sometimes has thousands of options to choose from and then pieces everything together to get the desired result. Beyoncé has revealed that during preparation for her performances, the songs get too long. Although there are people that would pay good money just to hear her sing for hours on end, the concert has to keep to time. So she cuts down those long hours to minutes of pure bliss for her fans. People who have worked with her on her performances have called a genius in the production field, even in music production. She has favorite saturations and distortion plugins, and is also intentional about stereo imaging. Beyoncé works hard to make sure each of her tracks come out perfectly. When she is not working on music, she is deeply into her family, sometimes even when she is working on music. Beyoncé's family. Beyoncé and Jay-Z have been very quiet about their relationship, so nobody really knows when exactly they met. People first started to speculate that they were dating after she appeared as his girlfriend in one of his music videos in 2002. They had a low-key wedding on April 4, 2008, but they started to experience difficulties in their relationship when Jay-Z had an affair. Before then, many people found it problematic that they got married when Beyoncé was 27 and Jay-Z was 39. They first started dating when she was 19 and he, 39, was 31st. Beyoncé had her first miscarriage after the marriage around 2010. She described it as the saddest thing to ever happen to her, so she used music to cope. The couple then traveled to Paris for an award show, and Beyoncé got pregnant during that trip. She gave birth to her first child, Blue Ivy, on January 7, 2012. 5 years later, in 2017, she announced that she was having twins on Instagram, and within 8 hours, the post got 6.3 million likes. It became the most liked image on Instagram at the time. On June 13, 2017, she gave birth to the twins and announced it a month later. But beneath their happy family, that seems inseparable. Let's look at the affair that nearly separated them. Jay-Z's affair. Wind of Jay-Z's extramarital affairs came to light in 2014 after a video of Solange, Beyoncé's sister, hitting him in an elevator went viral. Nobody knew what caused the altercation, and there were many talks of her being drunk. Then the family released a memo claiming she wasn't drunk and they had put their issues behind them. But in July 2014, rumors started to spread that they were getting a divorce. Beyoncé and Jay-Z were going on a joint tour and wanted to figure out a way to keep business running amidst the divorce. A source claimed that the couple had a child in hopes of solving their differences, but that didn't work. Although they wanted to keep their issues out of the public eye, Beyoncé didn't mind dropping a punchline or two about the situation. So in 2016, she released an album, Lemonade. In one of the songs off the album, Sorry, she started it off by saying "Det to side cheeks." In the same song, she referenced a certain Becky with the good hair. As expected, her fans started to point fingers at anyone who had gotten close to Jay-Z in that period. They accused Rita Ora and Rachel Roy of being the side chicks, but they denied being involved in the drama. Although Rachel Roy tried to milk the drama by throwing shades with the song, but Beyoncé's fans didn't let her hear the end of it. Jay-Z then admitted to cheating on Beyoncé in 2017, but never revealed who he cheated with. He revealed that they used music as therapy to get past it, and since then they have been focusing on their family and career. But away from all the scandals, Beyoncé does live a full, luxurious life. With a net worth of $800 million, here is her expensive car collection. Beyoncé's car collection. Beyoncé doesn't seem like a big spender, as we barely see her in clubs or similar establishments. But when it comes to her cars, she is ready to drop a couple $1,000,000. Her entire car collection is worth $1.7 million. The cheapest in this collection is a Chrysler Pacifica minivan. In addition to being one of the world's most talented performers, she is also a mum at heart, and we know how mums feel about minivans. But this is not a regular minivan. It runs on a V6 engine and produces 287 horsepower. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds, with a maximum speed of 110 miles per hour. It is the cheapest in her collection, but is worth $37,095. In terms of price, this minivan is followed by the Cadillac Escalade. It is a staple car for Hollywood celebrities, so it is not surprising that Beyoncé owns one. It runs on a V8 engine, generates 420 horsepower, and goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8 seconds. The SUV is worth $79,440. Beyoncé has more than one minivan in her collection. The second one is the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter limousine, worth $149,000. It has a luxurious interior with enough space to pass as a party bus. It runs on a 2-liter inline-4 engine, producing 188 horsepower and a total speed of 90 miles per hour. It goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 10.5 seconds. When Beyoncé is not accumulating minivans, she is riding in style in her Mercedes-Benz McLaren SLR. This car has a lavish interior and is worth $445,000. It runs on a V8 powertrain and generates 617 horsepower. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds. And the most expensive car in Beyoncé's collection is the 1959 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud II, which is worth $1 million. It was a gift from her husband, and it fits her perfectly. Although it looks like an old car, which it is, the power it generates is impressive. It runs on a 6.3-liter V8 engine and generates 174 horsepower, producing a total speed of 113 miles per hour. It goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 11 seconds. With a net worth of $800 million, it is surprising that Beyoncé has such a simple car collection. But she is happy with it and continues to keep her life simple. Apart from selling 200 million records throughout her music career so far, she also runs a hair care line called Secret. But there is not a lot of information on the company's net worth. Beyoncé is one of the most talented performers of her generation, and she has a legacy that precedes her. What are your favorite Beyoncé performances? Let us know in the comments. For more success stories about Black wives, check out this next video on the 20 most powerful Black wives in the world.